Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of Hey You're Not Getting Fucked If You Live in Australia. I'm your host, Louis Rossman. Yes, I know I'm wearing sunglasses indoors. Today's one of those days where I just can't stare at studio lights. I just don't have it in me. If I turn off the studio lights, my video looks like this. And if I turn them on and I take the sunglasses off, it's just, ow. Yeah, there are just some days, I don't know what it is, I'm just not able to look at them without just being very, very aggravated. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to go over again what happened with Amazon a year and a half ago and then a month ago. Amazon is a service that with Prime where you sign up and you usually pay by the year. It's different from Spotify or Netflix where you pay by the month. So if Netflix changes something on you, if they remove a show or a program that you really liked, or if Spotify changes something that you don't like, it sucks, but at the end of the month you stop paying them. With Amazon Prime, if they've done something you don't like, because you usually pay by the year, if they do something that I don't like next week, but I paid for the year now, that means for 11 months and 3 weeks, I'm stuck with something that sucks. And that's really offensive. What they did here is they changed things a year and a half ago so that if you were paying for Amazon Prime, you would see ads in video unless you paid an additional fee. And they recently did that with music as well. So many people who were signing up for Amazon Prime wanted to sign up for Amazon Prime because, look, I could watch these videos without seeing ads. That was the primary driving feature for a lot of people that wanted to pay for these services. And they paid for these services under the idea that they wouldn't have ads in them. And then Amazon says, we're going to put ads in these things. If you don't want ads in them, you can pay an additional $2 or $3 a month. Now, the reason this is very annoying to people is because they couldn't get their money back. So if you signed up for the service under the idea that it didn't have ads, you could not now get your money back because they changed the terms of the sale after the sale and put ads in it. And changing the terms of the sale after the sale, as is something that many people can do when you're dealing with cloud provided services, is one of the themes of this channel over the past few years. It's one of the themes of the Consumer Rights Wiki, and it's something that we go over on a regular basis here on the channel, and I find to be very unfair. Now, there was a class action lawsuit against Amazon on this, and I wanted to read you what this joke of a judge found with it. This did go to court. Some of you may be wondering, how did they not get sued over this? They did. And Judge Barbara J. Rothstein found the following. The addition of ads constituted a change in subscription benefits as opposed to a price increase. It is true that Amazon's introduction of commercials to its streaming service for those Prime members who chose to pay more to keep their streaming ad-free ultimately had an effect on those subscribers' wallets tantamount to a price increase. The court, however, is compelled to maintain the distinction between a benefit removal and a price increase for several reasons. First, this distinction is repeatedly reinforced in the contracts themselves. Benefit modifications and removal are expressly authorized throughout both contracts. Price increases are circumscribed and allowed only according to certain conditions. The only subscribers who experienced any increase in price were those who voluntarily chose to incur one by affirmatively opting into the $2.99 a month charge to avoid ads. Now, what she's referring to is that the contract that they signed says that they can unilaterally change the terms of the sale. I want you to try and understand this if we're talking about something that is not related to the internet. Let's say you buy a gallon of milk for $3, and then I go to your refrigerator, and while you're sleeping, I pour out 3/4 of your milk, so now you only have a quart, and I say, well, on the back of the milk, it said that we could change the amount of milk that you get at any given time. I tell you that if you'd like the full amount of milk that you had purchased, you can get it back by giving me $2.50, and then I tell you that that's not a price increase, I simply change the amount of milk that I gave you, and you're only voluntarily incurring a price increase if you choose to pay to get the milk back that you had before. If you would try to apply any of the garbage that came out of this judge's mouth to physical goods, it's a laughingstock. It's robbery. You would be allowed in some states to literally shoot the person that came into your house and took that milk out of your refrigerator, and you would be innocent. Yet here, it's a totally allowable business model. When you think of it this way, when you think of it as if a burglary has occurred or somebody has broken into your house, it's completely unacceptable. Yet when it comes to a cloud service changing the terms of the sale after the sale, that's just allowed. While their contract says that they have the ability to change the terms of the sale anytime, and that's what the judge is saying, Australia takes issue with that clause being in the contract at all. And I agree with this. Here is what Australia says. The ACCC chair, Gina Cass-Gottlieb, said that customers who wanted to avoid ads were left with no choice but to pay more to maintain the service they'd originally signed up for. Those contracts included 5 terms permitting Amazon Australia to unilaterally make materially adverse changes to its services, including but not limited to Prime Video and the terms governing those services without any contractual entitlement for subscribers to receive refunds or other meaningful redress. The Australian consumer law names this clause directly here. Section 25 of the Australian consumer law provides examples of potentially unfair contract terms, which includes terms that permit one party to unilaterally vary the terms of the contract or the characteristics of those services to be supplied. In America, the judge said that benefit modifications and removals are expressly authorized through both contracts. In the ACC statement, The proceeding concerns unfair contract terms in standard form consumer contracts made by Amazon Australia with over 1 million annual subscribers to Amazon Prime between November 1st, 2023 to August 18th, 2025. Those contracts included 5 terms permitting Amazon Australia to unilaterally make materially adverse changes to its services, including but not limited to Prime Video and the terms governing those services, without any contractual entitlement for subscribers to receive refunds or other meaningful redress. Now, the problem here that they're focusing on, and I agree with, is the idea that you could sign a contract and then put within the contract that the contract can change at any time. That is a meme, and this is one of the issues that I have here. This is one of again, this is like one of the areas where like complete anarcho-capitalism and libertarianism starts to break down a little bit when you can write into the contract that the terms of the contract and what is written in the contract can fucking change at any given time, and there's nothing you can do about it. This is the point at which our forefathers several 100,000 years ago would have put the pen in the contract down, picked up a rock, and beat the other person on the side of the head, because this is not the way that you do business. Yet in America, it is. And the way that the American judge interprets this versus the way that the ACCC interprets this is the actually person that you just want to hit in the head with a rock versus the way that you would actually interpret this in real life as a standard human being. So I really think that it's great that ACCC is going after them. This is the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission versus the way that the judge in America dealt with it. If you signed up for something and you paid full fucking price because it said it doesn't have ads, and then they put in ads during the term of your contract, that is a breach of that contract. I don't give a fuck if the contract says that they can change the terms of the contract at any given time. What the fuck is the point of having a contract then? What is the point of us both signing a document if you could literally change what it is you are providing at any given time? The entire point of a contract goes away. And if judges like this continue to rule in this way, if the laws in the United States continue to be pushed in this way, what you're going to find is that people have less and less respect for contract law over time, and you can't be surprised if people stop caring about the terms of contracts and if they stop caring about the rule of law. Because when the rule of law is such that it is so, in my opinion, flagrantly lawless, what is the point of following it? What is the point of thou shalt not steal if I could change the definition of steal? What is the point of thou shalt not kill if I can change the definition of kill? Words have meaning and language. You cannot simply redefine them. You cannot simply change what words mean this way that Sony tried to when they changed the definition of the means own or purchase, the same way that you cannot change the terms of a contract unilaterally mid-contract. You may say that the law says that you can do that, and I understand if there's a judge or a legal scholar out there that is smarter than me when it comes to law that can explain why that's the case, but you have to understand is that the societal consequences of that are people looking at contracts and saying, fuck you. When you no longer respect contracts, you no longer respect the rule of law. When you no longer respect the rule of law, you have a very fucked up society. And the thing is, I'm not against people that look at these contracts and say, I no longer respect contracts or the rule of law. I completely understand where you're coming from because these contracts are complete fucking ridiculous. And I'm hoping that the people that watch this, that have anything to do with American consumer protection, are paying attention to this, because you have over 300 million people in this country that are staring at this type of stuff every single day. Every day there's just a little step forward towards this, and they're just starting to say, I don't care. I don't care what the law says. I don't care what the contract says. Fuck you. This doesn't make sense by my law, by my morals, by my ethics. And when 99% of everyday people can look at this and say, that's bullshit, and you just have somebody say, yeah, whatever, you're going to find that a lot of people stop respecting the rule of law. I think Australia's take on this makes a lot of sense, and I approve of it, and I am ashamed of the finding of the judge within my own court system of my own country. I'm ashamed of the American judge, and I'm ashamed of the American law. I love my country. I'm an American, but man, one of the things about loving America is you should love changing the shit that's fucked up about it. And one of the things that I notice, the more that I spend time going to other countries, visiting other countries, reading about other countries, and this is important because you're going to have a lot of people in the comments saying shit like, if you don't like the laws here, just leave. Is that one of the great things about America is that we get to talk about our problems. We get to try and work towards fixing our problems and making them better rather than just pretending they don't exist at all. I think that's a good thing. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think it makes sense that contracts just have the ability to change willy-nilly? That I can say, I am selling you a gallon of milk, but the amount I'm selling you could change at any given time? That I can walk into your house while you're sleeping, grab the milk out of the refrigerator, leave you with only a quart, and then say, well, sucks to suck? Or do you think that's bullshit? That's it for today. And as always,
we also have the duty not to infringe the IP rights in the process. It is in fact the manufacturers who have the relevant rights, not consumers.